Dear students of CBSE Class 10, today we'll continue History Chapter 7, Print Culture and the Modern World Part 2. In order to understand, you must watch Part 1. Try to solve the questions given at the end of the lecture and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Let's start. First topic is the reading mania. See how this printing brought the mania among the people. Reading mania. Through the 17th and 18th century, literacy rate went up in most part of Europe. Churches of different denominations set up schools in villages carrying literacy to peasants and the artisans. New forms of popular literature appeared in print, targeting new audience. Peddlers carried little books for sale in villages. Almanacs or the ritual calendars, ballads and the folk tales were sold. Chapmen sold chapbooks for a penny in England so that even poor could buy them. In France, bibliothèque bleue, small books for poor were printed at low price. Periodicals, newspapers and journals carried information. Ideas of scientists and the philosophers became accessible to common people. The writings of thinkers such as Thomas Paine, Voltaire and Rousseau were widely printed and read. So that is the reading mania started in Europe. Next is Tremble, therefore tyrants of the world. See how it helped to give the shake of the tyrants. Now, by the mid of 18th century, books served as means of spreading progress and enlightenment. Many believed that books could change the world, liberate society from despotism and tyranny. Louis-Sébastien Mercier, a novelist in 18th century France, proclaimed the above statement, tremble therefore tyrants of the world. Now, next is print culture and the French Revolution. How French Revolution got inspiration from the print culture. Now see, print culture. Several historians have argued that print culture created the condition within which French Revolution occurred. Three types of arguments have been usually put forward. First, print popularized the ideas of the Enlightenment thinkers. They argued for the rule of reasons rather than customs. They attacked the sacred authority of the church and the despotic powers of the state. And second, print created a new culture of dialogue and debate. Norms and institutions were re-evaluated and discussed. Third, by the 1780s, there was an outpouring of literature that mocked the royalty and criticized their morality. So, in this way, now the print culture helps the French Revolution. And next is the 19th century. During 19th century in Europe, what was the condition in print culture? See here, with the spread of education in Europe in the 19th century, children, women and workers began to read in large numbers. Now see, subtopic is children, women and workers. From the late 19th century, as primary education became compulsory, children became an important category of readers, and to fulfill the increasing demand of books among the children, Children's Press was set up in 1857. The Grimm brothers in Germany published their traditional folk tales in 1812, gathered from peasants, and thus the rural folk tales acquired a new form or shape. Women become important as readers as well as writers. Penny magazines were especially meant for women, as were manuals teaching proper behavior and housekeeping. They were teaching over there in the penny magazine. Now, some of the best known novelists were women like Jane Austen, the Bronte sister, George Eliot, etc. They projected women in a new form of a person with will and strength of personality, determination and power to think. Lending libraries had been in existence from the 17th century onwards, after the workers had a scope to borrow books for self-improvement. Now, next subtopic is the further innovation. During the 19th century, what are the further innovation in this field? By the late 18th century, the press came to be made out of the metal, and by the mid of 19th century, Richard M. Hoe of New York had perfected the power-driven cylindrical press. This was capable of printing 8,000 sheets per hour. In the late 19th century, offset press was developed, which could print up to 6 colors at a time. Now, the next topic is India and the world of print. Let's see. India had a very rich and old tradition of handwritten manuscripts in Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian, as well as various vernacular languages. Manuscripts were copied on palm leaves or on handmade papers. There were several problems with these manuscripts. Still, they continued to be produced till the introduction of print in late 19th century. So, our print comes to India. How this print comes to India, this print culture reached to India. Let us see the first subtopic, print comes to India. The printing press first time came to Goa with Portuguese missionaries in the mid-16th century. Jesuit priests learned a Konkani and printed several tracts. By 1764, about 50 books had been printed in the Konkani and Kannada language. Catholic priests printed first Malayalam and Tamil books. From 1780, James Augustus Hickey began to edit the Bengal Gazette, a weekly magazine brought out by the Gangadhar Bhattacharya. Now, second subtopic of number 10, religious reform and public debates. See, debate over religious reforms took center stage in the 19th century. Intense debates went on over widow immolation and monotheism, Brahminical priesthood, and idolatry. Raja Ram Mohan Roy published the Sambad Kaumudi from 1821, and the Hindu Orthodoxy commissioned the Samachar Chandrika to oppose his opinions. The Muslims used cheap lithographic press to publish Persian and Urdu translations of Holy Scripture to counter the moves of the colonial power. Among Hindus too, print encouraged the reading of religious texts, especially in the vernacular languages. The first edition of the Ramcharitmanas of Tulsidas came out from Calcutta in 1810. From 1880s, the Naval Kishore print press and at Lucknow and Sri Venkateshwar press in Bombay published many religious books. These publications are very much famous at that time. Today's lecture is over. Important question from today's lecture is, now see, number 1, what did Grimm brothers publish? Number 2, who brought the first printing press to India? Number 3, what were penny chapbooks? Number 4, explain 5 reasons for bringing in large number of new readers among children, women, and workers during the late 19th century. How far is it right to say that the print culture was responsible for the French Revolution? Explain, question number 5. And the last question, number 6, what is the manuscript? List any 4 shortcomings of manuscripts. So students, these are the important questions, probable question from this chapter. If you listen attentively this discussion, you will be able to write down the answer. And thank you for watch till the end, and you will write all your doubts. Your valuable comment is highly appreciable. Thank you all.